Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I'm going to go over what you guys did yesterday, and we're going to go a little bit into what you're going to do today. They kind of go hand in hand. They're pretty much the same thing, just kind of stretched out over 2 days to not overwhelm you. So I hope you can see my screen, but this unit is Unit 6, Week 2, and we're going to be talking about weather. So we're gonna have some sciencey type stuff in this, and how in the stories that you're gonna be reading for the next 2 weeks will be about weather. So what you guys were supposed to be looking at today and yesterday was your essential question. And right here on page 416, remember this is your small Reading Wonders book that you're gonna find this in. That's your reading writing workshop book. On page 416, it asks us, how can weather affect us? And remember, for something to affect us means it's going to create either a problem for us or something good for us, or just impact our lives. If you look over here on page 417 right here, this was the double bubble map that, excuse me, not the double bubble map, just the single bubble map that we had you guys do. And it was just a way for you to brainstorm what you knew about weather. So I just wanted you to write some words about weather that you knew, or just some things about weather. So some things you could have wrote were sunny, cloudy, rainy, stormy. Those are just ways to describe the weather. You could have written that, the sun is hot, or the rain comes from the clouds when they build up with water, things that you learned, the water cycle. You could have wrote any kind of things, just 4 little brainstorming things to get you start thinking about this unit. All right, on pages 418 and 419, these are the vocabulary sentences we guys ask you to look at. And really, this is just a way for you to get thinking about this vocabulary. I'm not asking you to do a whole lot with it, but just kind of read through it and answer these questions mentally, or you may write them down. And so your first word right here, I usually do the interactive cards, but I'm going to do this one instead so you can see the picture and not have to keep stopping. So our first word here is argue. These are on that sheet also that we gave you guys, that has the genre on there and your vocab. You're going to use those for the next 2 weeks, okay? So argue. James and his grandfather sometimes discuss movies and argue about them. So what are some words that mean the opposite of argue? This was your thinking question that you're going to be asking yourself today. And I will be looking at those and to see what you guys are coming up with. You can you can put them in an email and just email them to me, or you can type them right onto Dojo if you want to make it easier so you don't have so much paper to keep up with, or you can write it. I like to write things. It makes me keep track of it better if I actually physically write it down. Completely up to you though. This word is astonished. Tammy and Kim were astonished and amazed at the big bug they found. So what is another word for astonished? So this is asking you to come up with a synonym. Remember, synonym means same. This word is complained. Ben complained about his dinner because he didn't like peas. I find myself complaining a whole lot since school's out, because this is just, being in front of a computer is not for me. Tell me about a time when you complained about something. So just think about something that you may have complained about. It could have been something that happened this week. Conditions. Mark's umbrella was ruined by the windy conditions. So what are the weather conditions today? Right now outside my window is nice and sunny. It is a pretty day. Right here, this is forbidding. This sign is forbidding us to swim in the pond. So think of some words that mean the same as forbidding. Remember, same means synonym. Forecast. The weatherman says that the forecast today is sunny and warm. Why do you look at a weather forecast? So what are some reasons we might look at the weather forecast? What do we need to know the weather for? Why is it important to figure out the weather? This word is relief. It was a relief that Mom found my dog and he was okay. So tell me about a time when you felt relief. And then this last one, stranded. Patricia was stranded at home during the rainstorm. Why might you be stranded in bad weather? And down here at the bottom, this is what I want you to focus on today. It's your turn. Pick 3 words and write 3 questions for your partner to answer, really for yourself to answer. So 3 questions, and I want you to answer them. So you're going to be the partner, okay? So you do not have to answer every single question for these vocabulary words, because that would take up a lot of room. So pick 3 that you would like to answer, and then answer them on your paper, and you can send a picture of that to me, okay? So any of these 3 words, and you already have the definitions for them, and we will go over those tomorrow. But these are just some questions that get you thinking about these words, kind of elaborate a little bit more. All right, let's see if we can find, I don't want to go to the story just yet. Here we go. I want to go over the genre because we're going to read the story tomorrow, but I want to go over this genre page right here on page 426. So if you want to turn in your book to that page, or you can just look on with me, it's up to you. Historical fiction, we have talked many, many, many times about historical fiction. Remember, a historical fiction story is something that did not happen. It's because it's fiction, but it's based on real things. It's a made-up story that takes place in the past. So it's got some realness to it because it's historical, meaning that it could take place in a real place, such as this story takes place in New York. New York is a real place. It talks about having a big blizzard. A blizzard can really happen, and blizzards often happen in New York. So these things really did happen. People really lived back then. People in 1947, people really lived in New York and experienced blizzards. That's why it's an historical fiction. But the fiction part means it's about a family that may have not really existed. This did not really happen to them. So it says the big blizzard is historical fiction. Historical fiction is a made-up story that takes place in the past and has illustrations that show the setting and how people lived, and often helps create a mood. So it has illustrations, meaning what? What are illustrations? Are they real or are they not real pictures? If you said not real, good job. They are not real pictures. They are drawings, okay? And it says right here with the little magnifying glass, find the text evidence. So first we got to say, how do we know it's historical fiction? And I know we haven't read it yet, but we can look at this page and just see a bunch of examples right here that let us know it is historical fiction. It says, I can tell that the big blizzard is historical fiction. The characters and events are made up. The story is based on real events that happened in 1947 in New York City. So the people are made up. The events are not all correct, but some of it is. Some of it is what happened in 1947 in New York City. So here's where they found their text evidence. The story and characters are made up, but the events could happen in real life. Events in historical fiction happened a long time ago. So they have some they pointed to the paragraph right here that talks about some events that were happening. And then it says illustrations show details of the setting and how people lived. So right here, it's showing us the setting. We can see that it's cold. They're outside. Sorry about that. And we can see that this is actual real life stuff. This stuff could really happen. So what I wanted you to focus on today is, this is going to be a short lesson. Remember, those introduction lessons are real short. We go over the genre, we went over the vocabulary words. Tomorrow, I'm going to recap those vocabulary words and we're going to read the story. But what I want you to focus on today is just answer 3 of those questions that went along. Let me get back to it. Didn't go back far enough, I'm sorry. 3 questions that went along with these vocabulary words. Any 3 you want to pick, okay? So just number those 1 through 3 and answer those questions. And then you're going to give me 3 elements of historical fiction, okay? 3 elements. We talked about what historical fiction is and what it means to be a historical fiction story. So you're just going to give me 3 elements to that, all right? And I will post the read alouds tomorrow as well on my YouTube page, and I will send you those links. We're going to get back to that. I'm going to go over the stories with you guys because I know it's been a while since we read that. And so I will be looking for these. Remember, you can send pictures of those to me, or you can just have them in front of you when we go over them. It doesn't matter. Remember, on the lesson plan, it does tell you what to send pictures of, so you do not have to send me a picture of everything you do, but it does help if you have it in front of you when we go over it during these video lessons. Okay. All right. I love you guys. I thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you soon.